Oof, boy. Ow now, brown cow. Ow now, brown cow. Unique New York. Unique New York. All right. Friday afternoon. Making this video a little bit late. I had some things to do. Last night was my tricep day, my supplemental day. And same as Monday, it went well, went fairly well. I'm happy with the results. I increased the weight from when I finished. Let's see, the last time I did it was April 21st. That was my last session. I did add 5 pounds to the bar to make it more difficult for myself. I will, actually, I'm going to go into why do I do floor press with chains? So I compete in just the bench press. That's my sport, so to speak. And I believe in specificity. So if you want to get good at something, you need to practice it. If you want to get good at hitting a baseball, you need to go to the batting cages or take batting practice and swing a bat and hit a baseball. That's number one. And then from there, you can start to, deconstruct a swing and have different drills, look at strength training, and go from there down the list. But if all you do is get stronger and never swing a bat, you're not going to be better at swinging a bat. If you want to be a better three-point shooter, you have to practice shooting threes. If all you do is shoot free throws, that's not going to make you a better three-point shooter. So powerlifting, fortunately, is very simple. You have squat, bench, and deadlift, and all I do is bench. But even for the full power, not that complicated. So you should be squatting, benching, and deadlifting. It's not strongman where the events change every show and you have to, change. Are you doing more conditioning? Am I going to bring up my log clean and press and maintain my deadlift, or work more on my stones? Or there's a lot more moving pieces. Powerlifting, we're simple. It's just the 3 lifts, and then bench only is the most simple thing you can do. It's just benching with 3 attempts. So all this training, all this work, all accumulates to just 3 attempts. So I believe in specificity. So number 1 is benching. That's the number 1 priority. If it hits the fan, so to speak, during the week, all I'm going to do is a bench press session. So if I'm sick, if something's going on with my kid or some emergency, I'll just bench press and take the other 6 days off. That's not ideal, but it works because the priority is that, practicing what I do. And then after that, so you have your main lift, which if you're full power, you'd throw the squat and deadlift in. And you don't even have to squat and deadlift every week. You can rotate them. There's some people who've done that, who've gotten very strong and very successful, squatting 1 week on a leg day and then deadlifting the next week. And especially if you do a wider squat and a sumo deadlift, which quite frankly, if you're a power lifter, you should be doing because the leverages are better, then you can really alternate them and they'll feed into each other. So I do the bench. After that, supplemental. I believe in specificity. So with my supplemental movement, I'm going to pick something specific to the bench. And I do it by the weight on the bar. So powerlifting is maximum strength, 1 rep max. You'll never show up to a powerlifting meet and they say, surprise, we're doing safety squat bar squats for a 5 rep max today. It's the same every single time, 1 rep. So I'm not going to do tricep pushdowns. I think for a beginner, they're good. It teaches proprioception and being able to squeeze and flex your triceps. A bigger muscle is a stronger muscle. So if you're beginning and you're not lifting, a lot, not benching a lot, then they can have their place and they can be effective. With my strength level now, I think if I put 120 pounds and was doing push downs, that's not fully effective. I want load, I want more weight, because on top of getting a bigger muscle, I also want the neurological effect, which powerlifting there is. A lot of it is neurological. How many motor units can your muscles recruit to lift the weight? That's why you'll see people that lift like, or look like Jane but lift like Tarzan, or you'll see people that look like Tarzan and lift like Jane, bodybuilders, because yeah, they're big and they're stronger than most, but compared to powerlifters, they're not even close, but they look a lot bigger. It's because neurologically they don't have the same skill set that a powerlifter has. And doing the press downs with 120 pounds, if I'm squeezing 120 pounds, I'm recruiting only so many motor units for my triceps. Whereas if I'm doing a chain press with 245 pounds of bar weight and another 100 pounds of chains at the top, I'm recruiting 320, 345 pounds is what my brain is signaling to my triceps to lift. So I'm recruiting more motor units to lift the weight, which is my sport, one max attempt. So that's why I pick the heavier tricep movement, because I think it translates better to what I'm doing. Some other good movements: close grip bench press, floor press without chains, JM press. I would say if you're stronger and your training age, I don't want to say older, because if you start lifting when you're 30 and you're 32, your training age is really only 2 years. But if you have a longer training age, it would be better to do the floor press with chains or the JM press over the close grip or the floor press without. The reason why I use chains is the floor press it's a tricep movement primarily. I do a grip with, I have these two fingers are on the smooth part of the bar, these two are on the knurling. So it's a pretty close grip. That being said, I am still going to stress my shoulders. They're not going to be completely out of the movement, and neither are my pecs. So at the bottom of the lift, I have, let's use a arbitrary, let's say you have 200 pounds of bar weight and 100 pounds of chains, so 300 at the top. The bottom might be 220 because the chains aren't going to fully be on the ground. So at the bottom of the lift, where the shoulders are more vulnerable, you only have 220 pounds. As you go up, the chains come off, the bar gets heavier, and now there's more weight, but the load is transferring over to the triceps. So it's a good way to train the triceps heavy while preserving the shoulders, because benching it's hard on the pecs and the shoulders, even with good technique. And so I'm trying to pick a movement where I can go heavy and really load my triceps and keep, minimize the damage I'm doing to my shoulders, because they're doing a lot of work on the bench day, on my primary day. And I want to be fresh for that. And obviously I don't want any injuries, because then that completely stops any sort of training progress. So that's the reason why I'm doing that movement, and why JM wants me doing that movement, is to overload the triceps. As the chains go up, the weight of the bar goes up, and it's going to also help keep my shoulders healthier, because I don't need, the bench is enough for my chest and shoulders. I don't need to do dumbbell bench. I don't need to do strict press. It's just another thing to recover from. The bench is enough work. If you bench hard enough, if you push it, then you really shouldn't have enough energy to do any dumbbell benching or overhead pressing once you're done. If you did, I'd say you didn't go hard enough on the bench, and you should put more effort into that. Same thing with the squat. If you get done squatting and then you do 3 or 4 more accessories, just put that energy into squatting harder. You'll get more out of it. Now there are off seasons and times to do, different movements and take a break from the main movements. But if you're prepping for a meet, then I think you should be practicing what you're going to compete at and giving all your energy to that movement and not anything else. I did for a time. I first heard about powerlifting when I was probably 15 or 16 on the forums, and it was all West Side, and triceps, triceps, triceps. And then I kind of stopped paying attention and started paying attention again in 2012. So 2006, let's say, is when I first heard about powerlifting online. It was all geared lifting, all West Side. And 2012, probably 2009, 2010, I got away from it. 2012, I come back, and it's the opposite, right? It's, Dan Green wrote West of West Side article. And basically was saying, triceps aren't that important. So I started doing dumbbell benching, dumbbell strict pressing. And bench didn't go anywhere for years. And in fact, I could strict press 300 pounds, weighing 260, and my bench was like 340, 350. So my strict press was catching up. It didn't do anything for me. So I do believe that if you want a big bench, you need to have strong triceps, because that's where, if you're doing it properly, you're going to fail. If you can't get the bar off your chest, if you're at a meet and you're doing an attempt and you can't get the bar 2, 3, 4 inches off your chest, I don't think that means you have a weak chest or weak shoulders. It's one of three things. Number one, it's bad technique. Either on the way down, you came out of your groove, flared your elbows, or you lost tightness and you got down on your chest and you're at a max attempt, you're not tight, you're not in the right position, so it staples onto your chest. Number two, you're injured. You got a pec or shoulder, you say, screw it, I'm doing the meet. You bring it down and nope, abort mission. This isn't gonna work, something's gonna snap. And number three is you lack awareness and load the bar with a weight you have no business lifting. Those are the only three reasons why a bar is really going to stay on your chest. Because if you have the proper technique and you're tight and you use the bench and push against the bench, the bar should move 2, 3, 4 inches during a max attempt pretty easily. And you're going to fail somewhere at some point when your triceps kick in. So that's why my supplemental movement is triceps and not dumbbell bench or overhead press or anything like that. And if you're doing stuff in the gym and someone comes up and asks why are you doing that, Bo? I have an answer. All right, I want to get my triceps stronger so that I can increase my bench press. Why are you bench pressing? Because that's what I compete at. Why are you doing preacher curls? Because I want bigger biceps, so I have more tissue, so that when I come down, I just have more tissue and it feels better and it's easier to lift. It's like having a tennis ball in here that you can spring off of. Why am I doing rows? Because I want a wider, thicker back. I want it wider so that when I come down, my triceps rub against my lats, which also can create kind of like a little springboard, help it get it off your chest. And then also, if my back is thicker, my chest is going to stick up higher off the bench, so I'm going to have less range of motion, less distance that I have to move the bar. So there needs to be a reason why you're doing what you're doing, and you should be able to explain it to somebody. The only thing I do that is just vain is I do calf raises. That has nothing to do with bench. When I wear shorts, I want to have big calves, and my girlfriend likes it, my calves. So I like to be a little bit of a tease and show off those bad boys. But other than that, everything else I do is for a reason. I do weighted abs and weighted low back because I had 3 herniated discs, and it helps keep everything tight and helps keep me healthy because the bench does put stress on your back. Nothing like a squat or deadlift for me, but if a disc slips, well, there goes 3 months. So even those, I have a reason for doing it, and it all comes back to bench pressing more weight, which is my goal. I'm not going to go in the gym just to go in the gym and sweat and, you know, cause damage to my joints or, you know, whatever, just cause. I have a reason for everything that I'm doing and why I pick what I picked. And JM helped a lot with that as well. So that's why I do the floor press with chains. Yeah, so I'll get into the weights. I kept the chain weight the same, 2 brown chains each side, 1 purple chain, 1 blue chain. I added 5 pounds, went from 240 to 245 pounds, and did 5 the first set. Almost got 6. I'd say I did 5.5, maybe 5 3/4. It was pretty close. So I did 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1. I was able to go to failure and use a spotter for help. So, I mean, moving forward, there will be sets where I get all 6 and I don't fail. I'm not going to go for a 7th or 8th. I'm going to stop at 6. But every workout, I should hit failure. So if I'm cruising through and I'm 3 or 4 sets deep and I've done all sets of 6, and I know like, oh, I'm going to do all 6 sets of 6 easy, then I'm going to add weight and chase that failure and chase that struggle, and go to failure. Because I think for maximal strength, that is the best way to do it. For maximal strength powerlifting. Now, I should preface that from the last video. If you're doing strongman, for example, and you got 8 events you're prepping for, and let's say, you know, you're doing 2 events a day for 4 days and then a couple accessories, you probably shouldn't go to failure on every single event and every single lift. I don't think you're going to recover from all that. Maybe you pick one that you pick to just go balls to the walls at, and then maintain this one because this one you're already really good at, and you know, vice versa. There's a lot more variables involved in that sport. But for powerlifting, simple. So powerlifting, you should be able, if the recovery's in line, you should be able to push it hard every session in the main lifts and in a couple accessories that you do. So yeah, it was a good session. I donated blood about 3 hours before, and I don't think it affected the session, but moving forward, I'm not going to do that again. The lady, when she took the needle out, said no heavy lifting with this arm for 24 hours. And I was like, yeah, well, it's tricep day, ladies, so that's not going to happen. I'm going to lift heavy. So nothing bad happened. Like the vein didn't explode or anything. So, but I think moving forward, I'm going to do my blood donations on days where I'm not lifting, or maybe a leg day or something. And then I did see, there's a Dr. John at the gym. Fantastic. Apparently I had a rib out of place, and it's been out of place for a couple years because my back's hurt between my shoulder blade and my spine for a couple years. Every day, just achy and hurts and tight, and sometimes it'd spasm, and if I did this, my lat would always cramp up. And so he found it and did some soft tissue work, and then was able to pop that bad boy into place. And so that felt amazing. And did some pec work on my pec that I strained back in November, and a little tricep work. And if I felt it, I felt a lot better last night doing my floor presses from the past. So I'm going to see him again, continue to see him. And my mobility and flexibility was instantly better as well, which will be interesting to see Monday how much that helps with my bench, as I can get a better arch. That should help as well. So I'm excited that I found a doctor, chiropractor that knew what he was doing and was actually able to help me, because I'd seen others and I don't know how they didn't know my rib was popping out, was out of place, and didn't fix it. So I don't know what they're doing, but happy that I found someone that understands heavy lifting and was able to help. Yeah, get to the video and the lifting, and then I will make another video next Tuesday after Monday's bench session. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Mother's Day. Bye.
Dude, you dropped a 5 kg